Hello, so welcome to another reading vlog. This week I'm determined that I am not going to be stressed out by work and I'm going to have time for my own stuff. So let's see how that works out. It hasn't worked out so well recently, but I really want that to change. So I'm going to make it change. I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to be inspired by Vita Nostra, which I read last week. I'm going to manifest the things I want in my life. I don't know if that's going to work. But anyway, let's talk about the books that I'm going to try and read this week. So this week, I'm going to try and focus mainly on thrillers. I'm not sure I've taken the right approach. I basically went with the audiobooks that I could get my hands on and also the one thriller that I had on my TBR, my analog physical TBR. But I'm going to read them and see what I think. I've always kind of struggled. Like, I know I like some thrillers, but I don't really know what kind of thrillers I like. So that's something I'm trying to work on. Like, what do I even like in thrillers? So this one is Stephen King. What I've got so far is that there were two friends. One of them has died and the other one is not very smart. He kind of keeps forgetting that his friend has died, and when he forgets, he sees his friend and he interacts with him. Then he remembers, oh, he's dead, and his friend kind of disappears again. His friend had this plan to kidnap this baby and like hold it for ransom. And so he's going to go through with this plan, even though his friend keeps telling him, like, you're probably not smart enough to pull this off by yourself. I'm not very far into it. I've read the first couple of chapters, but I will try and read some more of this tonight. As well, I have 4 audiobooks, but I actually read one of them already. So I read The Wives by Tarryn Fisher. I had seen Read with Cindy give this a really terrible review, but I thought, no, my reading taste is very different from Cindy's, so like, I'll try it anyway. Big mistake. It's kind of about this woman who's in a polygamist relationship, but she's really unhappy, and really the solution right there should have been like, just end it. If you're not happy, end it. However, there was all this drama going on. Really the whole story was based on this idea that you're doubting the main character's perception and like the things she's telling you. You don't know if they're true or not. And honestly, I kind of hate that. Like, how am I meant to figure out the mystery if I can't even tell what's true or not? Like, pretty much everything I'm reading, I don't know if any of it's true. So like, why do I even care? Anyway, I did read that really quickly while I was driving around listening to the audiobook. Didn't really enjoy it. Like, it was fine. It was written fine, but I'm probably giving it 2 stars because I didn't care. Anyway, the next audiobook I'm going to start is A Fire Slowly Burning by Paula Hawkins. I have read a couple of books by Paula Hawkins before and I thought they were okay, but I didn't love them. So why did I pick up this one? It was available at the library, so like, I've picked it up and we're going to try it. Maybe I saw somebody say it was good, but honestly, just as easily I could have seen someone say it was terrible and I just remembered seeing the book. So I'm going to try that. I know 0 about it, so I don't know. The other 2 audiobooks that I do have that I'll try and get to later in the week is 9 Perfect Strangers by Liane Moriarty. I mainly picked that up because I kept getting ads for the TV series that's just been made based on that. And I did really like Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty. So I'm not sure. I've seen mixed reviews about 9 Perfect Strangers. It's about 9 perfect strangers who go to this health retreat to try and deal with their issues. And something weird is going on. I don't really know. I don't know much about this either. I really do think, though, that it's best to go into thrillers not knowing anything. So I guess that's the right approach. And the other one I have is not really a thriller exactly. It's more of a horror, I believe. And that is Only Good Indians by, I'm trying a thing where I record my audio on my phone, but that means I can't look at my phone when I need information. So maybe that's a terrible strategy. Only Good Indians, I think, by Stephen Graham Jones. I want to say that's right. If it's wrong, I'll put it on the screen that it's wrong. And again, this is a horror I don't know anything about, but I know a lot of people really liked it. So I've got the audiobook for that as well. This week, even though it's raining, I'm planning to go for lots of walks and get like some fresh air and like motivate myself that way, like de-stress with fresh air. That should also mean though that I get lots of time for listening to audiobooks. So hopefully I can get through all of them and as well get through this. I don't know what else is happening this week. At the moment, we're still in level 3 lockdown in New Zealand, so it's kind of like just waiting to see if we'll ever get out of lockdown, but our cases are still high. Our vaccination rates aren't high enough. Our hospital system already struggles with the normal non-COVID demand, so like we can't really take too much of a risk. So I don't know how long we're going to be in lockdown. Since my immune system is kind of shitty, I'm probably going to stay home even if they open up a bit, because I don't know. I think we should have stayed in like full lockdown a little bit longer and we'd be in a better position now, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But I also know there's a lot of people really pissed off that we're still in lockdown, so I guess you can't win either way. But I'm mostly going to be staying away from people. As an introvert, that's something I like to do normally anyway. If you set yourself on fire, I never let you burn. I would smoke you till my lungs hurt and love you till I'm dirt. I'm not sure where all this goes. What I do know is I'll never let you go. When my world is falling apart, you're always there first. When I felt like I could give up, you showed me my worth. I'd follow you into the desert, and if worst came to worst, I would fight off all your monsters. Yeah, I would break the curse. Hello, I thought I would vlog from a different spot because like at the moment I'm stuck inside all the time. It gets kind of boring. As well, I wanted to show you my scribblings on my whiteboard. I have this whiteboard in my hallway. So I've been listening to A Fire Slowly Burning. That's the name, right? I think so. While I was listening to it on my run and stuff, it was actually quite hard to follow because there's quite a lot of characters. However, I drew this diagram of all the characters and their relationships on the board, and since I've been listening to that, I've been able to keep it a lot better in my head, and I've been updating the diagram as we go. It's the kind of mystery I like, actually, where there's all these different characters and there's all these different connections between them, and eventually it's all gonna come clear into a picture about what's happened. So basically there is this young man called Daniel who was living on this canal boat, and he has died. Several weeks before that, his mother died, and there was also another death in the family many years ago. So we're following a whole bunch of people connected to this family, and I expect that eventually all these deaths are going to somehow be connected. So we're trying to figure out what's actually going on. I've got a few theories, but I'm not sure. One of the characters is also an author, and it seems like he stole the story of another one of the characters, like it's their real life story and he wrote it as a book, and that book was very successful. So there's definitely an element of that in there. There is also another girl who was hit by a car, and so she has some kind of like emotional control issues as a result. I will say in general, I feel like a lot of thrillers don't do like mental illness representation very well, and I'm not confident this one is amazing. There's a few places where I'm like, There is also an older lady, and she was talking about how sometimes she almost likes feeling like that dementia feeling, like that lack of control is almost like a kind of freedom, which I quite like that idea. Maybe I'm not so scared of going senile in my old age if it can be kind of a bit freeing. I'm sure it's not like that all the time, but maybe sometimes. Anyway, I am enjoying that, and I've been doing some housework tonight and listening to it, and I'll probably listen to some more of it. As well, last night I did manage to read a little bit more of this. Not very much. I really need to make some more progress. So far, this character, Blaze, is still preparing to kidnap this baby, and I'm pretty sure it's going to go terribly, but also I'm kind of hopeful that he'll build a relationship with the baby and it will solve all his life problems. I don't know that it will, but I'm hopeful. We're also getting quite a bit of his backstory and kind of how he got into this life of crime and how he met his friend George, who's now dead, but kind of a ghost, but kind of not a ghost. I think more of a memory. Anyway, it's kind of strange. It is written in that very Stephen King style. Like, I feel like if you read this when it was Richard Bachman, you would be like, why are you writing like Stephen King? So No wonder he couldn't keep that a secret. But I am enjoying this, and hopefully I can sort out all my life shit and go to bed and read and go to sleep on time tonight, because last night I definitely did not. And then on top of 5 hours of meetings today, that did not set me up for an evening of productivity, but I am trying. Okay, so you guys probably remember, because it was more recent for you, at the start of this vlog when I said, like, this is the week where things are not going to be stressful. Well, I was wrong. This week was such a chaotic mess. Honestly, my work is trying to get so many things finished by the end of the year, even though there's such little time left in the year. It's kind of ridiculous, and I feel like the whole rest of this year is going to be stressful, which is really annoying me. But I guess I will keep trying to be unstressed and find time for my own shit. So, reading since I talked to you. This one, I don't actually know that I've read anything since I last talked to you. Maybe a little bit? But it's really just we're learning more about his backstory and waiting for him to do this kidnapping. I really just want him to do the kidnapping. I don't mind his backstory, but I want more of the kidnapping and more of like this weird ghost element in the story. So I'll continue that. As well, I think since I last talked to you, I did manage to do some audiobook listening while I was doing other things. Like when my brain wouldn't work after work, I just put on my audiobook and like let it flow over me. So I finished A Slow Fire Burning. Is that the name? I feel like I've said it wrong a million times in this vlog. But I finished that and I did like it. What I would say is all the different elements didn't really come together as much as I would have liked. Like there was one part that kind of everything came together, but there were also a few peripheral characters which had interesting things going on, but those interesting things weren't really woven in. And unfortunately, it was those characters that I found the most interesting. So I was a bit frustrated, like this whole element where there was this, one of the characters had written this book and it was actually the story of another one of our characters. There was something that happened with that, but I feel like a lot more could have been done with that. And I also feel like the themes that the author was trying to get at were more related to that part of the story as opposed to the other part of the story, which turned out to be kind of the main mystery. There's also this girl called Laura who is kind of the one who slept with this boy that we discovered was dead at right at the beginning, and she's kind of the main suspect of the police in the very beginning. And I kind of just felt really mad about everything that happened to her. It didn't even need to happen to her for the plot. I just want her to be happy. I really liked her character. I really liked Irene, the old lady, and again, her part in the story was important, but still kind of peripheral, and I think it could have been better. But I did enjoy the reading experience. I do definitely think it was good that I wrote up on my whiteboard all the characters, because otherwise I never would have kept track of all of that. Which does lead me to talking about the next audiobook that I picked up, which is 9 Perfect Strangers by Liane Moriarty. I have to say, this is supposed to be a thriller. I keep like looking up, like, is this a thriller? Because I'm past halfway and nothing thrilling has happened yet. Like, we're following all these different characters who've come to this wellness retreat, and we're kind of learning about all their lives, so there is kind of a mystery element in like, who are all these people? But nothing in their lives is like particularly shocking or amazing. Just stuff that happens to people. A lot of it traumatic, sure, but not really thrilling or mysterious. And maybe like about halfway, we did learn one little thing, but it's more just like, oh, okay. It's not really thrilling or mysterious or like even, I don't know, it's not shocking. It's just a thing that's happening that we didn't know, just like how we're learning about all these characters. And there's so many characters. Although I would say I am finding them easier to keep in my head than I was A Slow Fire Burning. Never remember the name of that book, but I did kind of like purposely go through the names of the characters in my head to make sure that I was connecting them against who they are. I think if I'd just been letting it flow, which I said I was doing, but if I just let it flow over me, I probably would have no idea who anyone was. Anyway, I am halfway through and I'm like, It's not that I'm not enjoying it. I quite like the main character, Frances, who is this author who got done in this scam, stole a bunch of money from her, and she also got a bad review. But she's quite nice, and I like the young girl, Zoe, whose twin brother had killed himself. So there's definitely quite a few trigger warnings for this, like there's a lot of fat shaming, and it's kind of moving towards a good message for that, but there are some lines which in the beginning I was like, don't like reading that. There's also, I guess, suicide and drug use and probably lots of other things. These people are all having very traumatic lives. Although, like, most of them are fine. It does seem like the main woman who's kind of running this wellness retreat is going to be doing some very experimental practices on them, but like, there's nothing dark or sinister about it. She really is trying to help them. And I don't feel like any of it's, so far at least, is like completely out there. So I don't know, like I know the trailer for the TV show really had that feel of being a mystery thriller. And the book kind of has the feel of being a mystery thriller, but where is the mystery? Where is the thrilling? I have not found it yet. Anyway, it's the weekend now. Jace is going to come round. I don't know what we're going to do because I think it's going to be rainy and windy and horrible all weekend. It is a long weekend though, but I don't really know. But whenever he gets sick of me and goes home, then I'll do some more reading. I might read some of this while he's here.
Chasing one another, getting lost in another summer. Never wanted it to end. Now I'm losing all my friends. I'm reminded of the pain when I'm on the interstate, me and the moon, and we think of you.
Hello, it is now Monday. Thank goodness it's a public holiday because I really needed today as well. Like, my skin has decided to have some kind of eczema meltdown, which is great. Possibly because I did nothing the last couple of days, so I'm gonna head out for a walk in a bit and listen to some more audiobook. So let's tell you about my reading. I did finish listening to 9 Perfect Strangers, and oh my god, what a waste of time. The whole point of that book was just so ridiculous that even though there were some interesting characters, sort of, I didn't really care about the characters. I didn't really care about what was happening. It was just so over the top and ridiculous, but also not thrilling, not a mystery. Waste of time. Don't read it. I don't know if I'll even pick up anything else by Liane Moriarty because that was such a waste of my time, which is such a shame because I loved Big Little Lies. Ugh. How annoying. Oh, and also, like, the ending was this epilogue that was like an hour long, going through like all the kind of the after of all these different characters, like where they ended up, and wow, I really did not care about the characters enough to get all that boring detail. What a waste of time. I mean, the actual writing was okay, and if something like substantial had actually happened instead of just this nonsense, maybe. I really can't see that TV show being worth watching, which is why I'm glad I read the book rather than wasting my time with the TV show. Because at least I could listen to the audiobook while I went on walks and stuff, whereas if I had been watching the TV, I would have not been exercising and just wasting my time. And also, like, TV-wise, over the weekend we did watch some TV shows, so usually Jace is very bad at binging shows, not interested. But I think I managed to get him to watch like 7 episodes of Lock and Key season 2. So I really love the Lock and Key graphic novel series. If you don't know about it, it's like this family that moves into this house and there's all these magical keys hidden everywhere. It's really dark and twisty, and I really enjoy the TV show as well, even though it's a little bit different, but it's still a lot of fun. So hopefully I can convince Jace to finish that season off next weekend. As well, we watched a few episodes of Money Heist. Jace has watched it before, but I haven't. Quite enjoyed it, so maybe we'll watch some more of that as well. I did manage to read a little bit of this book, but not that much. I'm about halfway through, and you know what? I'm kind of deciding that I don't really like Stephen King's writing, which is a shame because when I was younger I read things like Misery and The Last Stand and I really enjoyed them. But anything I've read more as an adult, I just feel like he writes too much rubbish. There's so much padding in this. I just want the main story. This could probably be a short story rather than a full book, and I think he just needed to pump out a book, and so he made this instead of making a shorter story. But still, I am going to finish it because I am interested to see what's going to happen with Blaze and this baby that he has now kidnapped. So hopefully I can find some time to finish this off tonight. Right now I'm going to go for a walk, and the audiobook that I have started reading that I will read while I'm on my walk is The Only Good Indians. So far I have listened to like half an hour of it, so we're following I think we're going to follow maybe a few characters. I'm not sure. So far we're following this guy, and there's some kind of previous thing that happened where they killed off a bunch of these elk, but maybe the elks are coming back to get revenge? Maybe? I don't know. I haven't really read enough yet to know what's going on, but I will read some more of that tonight as well. And maybe when I come back from my walk I can also manage to be productive in other ways, because this weekend has not been very productive, which is fine. But next week, when it's a short week and I have more work to do in a short week than time available, I'm going to be annoyed. So I just really wish I had more time. Oh, hello, good morning. It's Tuesday morning. I'm about to start work, but I've just been listening to my audiobook while I got ready, and all I can think is like, what the fuck? We've got this guy, and he is I don't know, going crazy in my opinion. So he had this group of friends and they went out hunting, and they hunted these elk that they weren't supposed to hunt because those elk were like put aside for only the elders to hunt. And there was this one particular elk that was very traumatic in what happened with it, so that's had a big effect on him. But now it's later and some weird things have started happening, and he has jumped straight into like, oh my god, something supernatural is happening, these elk are trying to get revenge on me for having killed them, and he's like trying to prove that all these people are involved in it. And he just did something that, like, wow, that's not good. And like, I think you're meant to be following along with him, like believing these supernatural ideas that he's got in his head, but I am not there with him. And so when he did what he just did, I was like, what? Why would you do that? And I mean, I guess as far as it being a horror, like, it's shocking me. I am fairly horrified. But also, like, a lot of this book is him just having these paranoid delusional thoughts in my mind, which is a little bit hard to just follow along with all of it when I don't think it's right. Anyway, I need to do some work, so I will try and read some more of that later today. As well, last night I did read some of this, so I think I'm about 75% of the way through. I tried to finish it, but I was tired and I knew that I needed to sleep in order to do this work thing. So what's happened? Basically, he's going on with this kidnapping. Some things have been going wrong as expected, and I do think that maybe it's going to bring the backstory together with this kidnapping story, because some things that have happened seem to be bringing it together. So hopefully this last quarter will be really great. But again, I gotta work. I can't even spend the day reading. Ugh. Hello. So I just filmed my TBR, hence this mess, but I wanted to update you on this book, which I read last night, and honestly, when I finished reading it, I threw it away. I almost threw it across the room, and instead I just threw it onto the bed because I didn't want to damage it, even though I was angry. I think the problem is, like, this did make me care about the character, but that ending, what was that? That was an accident, but honestly, it could have been intentional too. I'm just so annoyed that you would make me care about the character and then just end it in such a stupid way like that. What the hell? Especially since I was also struggling with Stephen King's writing, and just like, it feels like a lot of the time he kind of says inappropriate things just to be like dark and gritty and cool, or like edgy, and like, I don't know, maybe he just thinks that that makes it seem more real, but it's honestly just like, dude, do you have to? And then there was no point to any of it. Honestly, what a disappointment. The other thing that I have made quite a lot of progress on is, what's it called? The Only Good Indians. I'm about an hour from the end of this, so depending on the weather, I might go out for a walk. It looks like it's gonna rain, but honestly, I'm so sick of my house that I might go out for a walk anyway. And then I can finish listening to The Only Good Indians. If I'm honest, I've been really struggling to engage with it. I've just had the audiobook on a lot, but I'm not really like, I don't know, I am following along, but like not that much is really happening. And I don't know with the horror stuff, like it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's using this weird second person, and I kind of don't know if I believe in the supernatural parts of it. As well, we kind of have these new perspectives, different from the one that we started with. Almost made the story feel quite disconnected, like there are some connecting elements, but for the most part, we're following completely different characters with like completely different day-to-day lives and completely different dramas. There's a whole bunch about basketball, which honestly I don't care. I don't know, it's not terrible, but I just don't think it's for me. There's a lot of internal monologue, and the things they're monologuing about are not interesting to me, and it all feels very monotone to me, except for like every now and then where there's high action, awful, horrific parts, which I do think the horrific parts are quite well written, but the rest of it, I think it could have been cut down a lot. Anyway, I'm going to go and finish listening to that, and then I'll let you know when I finish it whether it managed to engage me or satisfy me or something like that. Okay, so it's several days later. I had a few stressful days of work, so again, totally failing at making work not stressful. But anyway, I did manage to finish The Only Good Indians, and I didn't really like it. There was, after, like I said, there was too much basketball stuff, and straight after that there was this massive bit of basketball, and oh my god, I don't care. And then there was quite a lot of action at the end, which I suppose was fine, but I just couldn't make myself care after all that stuff that I didn't care about. There were definitely some elements of the story that I really enjoyed. There was a little bit in there that was kind of referencing like Native American storytelling, and I wish there had been more of that. And I think overall, so let's take it back. At the beginning of this blog, I was talking about let's try and figure out what I really like about thrillers and maybe horrors. So I think I've decided I don't like it when it's not clear whether it's a supernatural thing or not. Like if it's trying to make you wonder, is this supernatural or is this real? I don't like that. Just tell me, is it supernatural or is it real? And then I'll take the book in that mindset. And maybe this book wasn't trying to make it a big mystery whether it was supernatural or real, but it didn't convince me that it was definitely supernatural or that it was definitely not. I feel like there was a question there. I do think some people will like The Only Good Indians, and obviously a lot of people have, but it wasn't for me. There were some parts I really loved, like the actual horror bits. I really liked that, but the rest of the story, not so much. So let's talk about other things that I discovered I didn't like in this blog, because I don't know that I really figured out things I liked, just things I don't like. So I don't like it when there's an unreliable narrator and the whole mystery is based on whether you can believe what you're reading. Don't like that. I don't like it when everything doesn't come together. So I don't really like red herrings, like clues that are not really connected. Is that am I using the term red herrings properly? Like, I don't mind clues that are misleading you, but I think those clues still need to be a part of the picture. Just the way they're presented to you means you think something different than what it actually is. Basically, I don't want a book to be wasting my time, so everything I'm reading should be relevant. If I'm reading a thriller or a mystery, there needs to be a mystery and some thrill to it. And I'm trying to think about this one. What was it that I learned from this one? That maybe I won't read any more Stephen King. I don't like it when it's just like explicit, like including sexual stuff or like body horror type stuff just for the sake of making it seem darker when it's not really. I don't know. I feel like this blog really didn't help me discover what I like, but it helped me discover what I don't like. If you have any ideas of thrillers or mysteries that I might like, then I would love to hear your recommendations down below. I just really want something that's really clever, that surprises me, but also I kind of want all the clues there so that I have the chance of figuring it out. And I'm not going to be mad if I figure it out. Like, I'll feel clever if I figure it out. I kind of want it to blow my mind with the way it brings everything together. But I also want to feel like that anxiety and that anticipation. I don't know. Anyway, not the best thriller vlog, but and not the best week because I was stressed the whole time. But I made it to the weekend, so we'll put all of this behind me and move on to some better times, maybe. As I said, recommendations down below, please. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me this week, and I will see you next time.